without being disrespectful, right, was actually a blessing. And this morning when I woke up, I had a chance to reflect, like, you know what? We can always look at the dark. We can always look at negative. That's like something easy for people that's filled with the dark and filled with the negative. But this morning I felt compelled to just tell her thank you for just being a peacemaker. I mean, for the most I known her, I mean, it's like she was always showing her cousin in the best light, even though when she didn't deserve it. And she was always showing me in the best light, even when I wasn't at my best. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like, I had to take out and say, blessed are the peacemakers, who shows what Yahshua talks about. You know what I'm saying? Blessed are the defenders of the poor. You know what I mean? Blessed are the father to the fatherless and the widower, right? Like, there's certain things that as we put the suit of armor on and upgrade to certain levels, these blessings get far clearer and just stronger. I even had to take the time out to shout out to Uncle Johnny because, like, I see him actually giving an effort. You see what I'm saying? He may not hit his mark, but I see he's attempting to give an effort, right?
Yeah.
And it's he's grown, he's matured since he was. You know what I'm saying? Now he's attempting to keep his oaths, his promises. And I had to let him know, like, that's what makes the Most High super than anybody. Like, you think you're a man, but that's what makes him, because he actually does keep his promises.
Yeah.
He does honor his words. Matter of fact, he turned his word into life. So, and then I had to thank another, you know what I'm saying? I had to thank another brother for his growth. One of my army buddies out there in the DR with his growth. You know what I mean? He was the crazy madman. He was the crazy madman. Oh, Garcia out here, nutcase. Now he's leading our troops out there and fighting for veteran causes out there. I don't want to talk too much because it's more business related, you know what I'm saying, and the functionality. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, and the functionality. And then I shame the devil. Like, I shame these high level Luciferians, these high level sorcerers, these high level witches, you know what I'm saying, Boule, you know, Boule witches. I shame them because your job is really to be the protectors of the poor. But the more I study, the more I read, the more I'm learning, the more I realize this ain't for everybody. With all that said, thank you, gentlemen, for making the time out to be warriors, to stay strong, to keep your armor up, and joining this soulful Sabbath day. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, Big, you press your record button and let's get this party started.
I've been Sherman.
Oh, excuse me, moi. Did I call anybody names out? The names have been changed to protect the innocent. All right. So I know two people gonna have four. No, sorry, two people's gonna one person gonna have four, two people's gonna have five. All right. What's the order of march you guys want to read this week?
I'll go first.
I'm in.
I feel second.
Oh, what? Changing it up, huh, sir? The first will be last, last will be first. All right, so
I'll take the 4.
music, blessed. All right.
You guys ready?
Born ready,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Send a lamb to the ruler of the land, from Salah to the wilderness, to the mountain of the daughter of Sion. And it shall be, like a wandering bird, a nest thrown out, so are the daughters of Moab at the fords of Arnon. Bring counsel, execute judgment, make your shadow like the night in the middle of the day. Hide the outcast, do not betray him who escapes. Let my outcast dwell with you, O Moab. Be a shelter to them for the face of the ravager, for the oppressor has met his end. Destruction has seized, those trampling down have perished from the land.
And in love and commitment, the throne shall be established, and one shall sit on it in truth. In the tent of Dawid judging and seeking right ruling, and speeding righteousness. You have heard of the pride of Moab, very proud of his pride. Yeah, okay, read that right. His arrogance and his rage, his boastings are not true. So Moab wails for Moab. Everyone wails for the raisin cakes of Kor Haresh. They moan. They utterly smitten. They are utterly smitten. For the fields of Heshbon languish, the vine of Sibmah. The masses of the nation have broken down its choice plants, which have reached to Yazir and wandered through the wilderness. Their branches are stretched out. They are gone over the sea. Therefore I bewail the vine of Sibmah with the weeping of Yazir. I water you with my tears, O Heshbon and Elaleh, for acclamation has fallen over your summer fruit and your harvest.
Gladness is taken away, and joy from the orchard and its vineyards. There is no singing, no shouting, no treaders treading out wine in their press. I have made their acclamations cease. Therefore, my inward parts sound like a lyre for Moab, and my inner being for Querheres. And it shall be, when it's seen that Moab has wearied herself on the high places, that she shall come out to a set apart place to pray, but not be able. This is the word which Yahweh has spoken concerning Moab since that time. But now Yahweh has spoken, saying, within 3 years, as the years of a hired man, the esteem of Moab is to be despised with all its great throng, and the remnant will be few, small, and weak. Mm. Big, I got a quick question for you. Unrelated to what we just read, really more on the recording. Do you hear a hissing sound in your mic?
And my mic.
I don't hear it no more. All right, shoot, do a mic test real quick.
Yeah, it's probably
It's,
my mic. I had my
it's
fans
cool.
on.
Yeah, it's cool as mic.
So
Oh,
I'll mute
yeah,
my mic whenever I'm not speaking.
you said you have. I'm sorry. You see my ears is horrible. You said it's your mic because you have your pants on.
Fans.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm
We
sorry.
see whose mind is in the gutter.
All right. So back to our regularly scheduled program, gentlemen. I think this is clear, right? Because we understand where we're going in this. This is before the first what is it? The first, oh my gosh, where's my brain? Capture.
It's somewhere in that head. Sorry,
Hmm.
no.
But
Okay.
it was his first capture, the first siege. This is just before that. You know what I'm saying? After all, it's like this is your chance, guys, to get it right. And even the Moab, because mind you, you're part of that blessing from Abraham. You see what I'm saying? Like you're still part of it. Still part of it. So here you go. This is it. Big.
Still soaking that in.
Shoot.
I'm also soaking it in.
All right. Yeah, we gotta get that. I gotta get that understanding. Heavenly Father, give me some understanding. Let's move on to the next. On to the next
Same thing.
one. Run it back.
The message concerning Damasek. See, Damasek ceases to be a city and shall become a heap of ruins. The cities of Aroer are forsaken. They are flocks which shall lie down, with no one to frighten. And the stronghold shall cease from Ephraim, and the rain from Damasek, and the remnant of Aram be as the esteem of the sons of Israel, declares Yahweh of hosts. And in that day it shall be that the esteem of Jacob wanes, and the fatness of his flesh grows lean.
And it shall be as when the harvester gathers the grain and reaps the head of his arm. And it shall be as he who gathers heads of grain in the valley of Rephaim, and gleaning grapes shall be left in it, like the shaking of an olive tree. 2 or 3 olives at the top of the utmost branch, 4 or 5 in its most fruit-bearing branches, declares the Yahweh Elohim of Israel. In that day, man shall look to his master, and his eyes turn to the set-apart one of Israel. He shall not look to the slaughter places, the work of his hands. He shall not see that which his own fingers made, nor the Asherim, nor the sun pillars. In that day, his strong cities become like a forsaken forest, and an utmost branch, which they left because of the children of Israel. And it shall become a ruin. Oh, it shall become, yeah, it's in there.
Because you have forgotten the Elohim of your deliverance, and have not remembered the rock of your stronghold. Therefore you shall plant pleasant plants and set out foreign seedlings. By day make your plant grow, and in the morning make your seeds to flourish. But the harvest is a heap in the day of grief and incurable pain. Woe to the uproar of many people who make a noise like the roar of the sea, and to the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. Nations rushing like the rushing of many waters. But he shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far away, and be chased like chaff of the mountains before the wind, like a whirling dust before the whirlwind, and eventide. Look, alarm, for the morning is no more. This is the portion of those who plunder us, and a lot for those who rob us. Mm. True?
Sounds like a warning to me.
Uh,
You have been warned.
so it's crazy because we know what's coming, right? Because we're in this time machine. But he's kind of warning these people. He's warning them. He's like, yo, okay, I'm gonna tell this to Damascus. I'm gonna tell this to like the one before. It was it was to the people of Moab. You see what I'm saying? Like these are like, okay, guys, that's like saying like, all right, these I'm gonna go out and tell the people in DC, you don't repent. I'm going to New York, you don't repent. I'm going to Florida, you don't repent. And we say repent, meaning recognize your failures to in the spiritual sense. You guys are building Ashraf poles. You guys are building slaughtering places to demons, to these fallen angels. That impressed you. I get it. I get it. I get if we something was to come through this dimension. I get it. There will be like 80% of people worshiping whatever it is, even some of the elect. I get it. But the Most High got them out. The Most High used his people to get them out, even protect his people to wipe them out. And then you have some people talk about, man, if the Most High is so wrathful, this, that, it's not about wrath. It's just like the wrath. Okay, I get it. I get it. That's what we see and we understand.
I mean, if you
But
think
can you
about it, right?
imagine?
Sorry to interrupt you. Think about it. You usually get mad at the people you love.
That's a dope one. I like that. I like that. You know what else I'm gonna put on it, right? Like, I'm gonna give you a case in point, Biddy, because you didn't witness this. Bree tried to free a rodent that was caught on a mousetrap. And to her, I was mean and evil because I didn't want this mice here in my sister's house. She make a good point. It's life, Daddy. It needs to live and flourish. But I'm like, Bear, this also represents disease, impoverishment, destitute in a tiny creature. We put that on that creature. It's almost like the sin goes on that creature. So it can't be here. Just like sinners can't be in the house or the here call of the Most High. We won't make it. We'll perish. We'll trap ourselves. We can't be idol worshipers. We can't worship man. Doesn't benefit us. We can't create something with our hand and then step back and then bow down to it. That's what he needs to weed out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry how that happened. But at the end of the day, this is what it is for us that know. This is all it is. It's nothing personal at this point. I don't even hate you because I don't. However, like you said, shoot, oh, I'm gonna bring that heat only because that fiery love I have for you, the light I have for you, the light I see in you, the potential.
It's a care, not to get mad at something.
You do, you do, you do. That's why I'll get mad at you, but y'all care about much. That's all right. I throw that big.
Yeah, I'm with Pooh on that one.
All right, on to the next one. This one's a short one. Um, would someone just
Is
want to
that
be okay?
is
Because
that
we
little
got
line count as one, or is that just? Okay, no, never mind. It's
come
part of
again.
number 7. Nah, that little line right there is in a perfect spot to make it look like a chapter or not a chapter, a verse. That's just part of number 7.
So this one, every two people will get two. One person will get three.
Sure.
Woe to the land shadowed with whirring wings, which is beyond the rivers of Cush, which sends envoys by sea, even in vessels of reed on the waters, saying, Go swift, messengers, to a nation tall and a smooth skinned, to a people dreaded from their beginning onward, a nation mighty and trampling, whose land the rivers divide. All inhabitants of the world, and you that dwell on the earth, when a banner is lifted up on the mountains, look, when a shofar is blown, hear. For thus Yahweh said to me, I am still, and I watch in my dwelling place like dazzling heat in sunshine, like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest. For before harvest, when the bud is perfect and the sour grape is ripening in the flower, then he shall cut off the twigs with pruning hooks, and shall cut down and take away the spreading branches. They are left together for the mountains, birds of prey, and for the beasts of the earth. And the birds of prey shall summer on them, and all the beasts of the earth winter on them. In that time a present shall be brought to Yahweh of hosts from a people tall and smooth skinned, and from a people awesome from their beginning onward, a nation mighty and trampling, whose land the rivers have divided, to the place of the name of Yahweh of hosts, to Mount Sion.
Whoa. I'm just
I'm soaking that one in.
wow. Yeah, that's because you can sense. Okay, when you read in this, right? Because the interpretations is closer to what they had, or closer to the ancient Hebrew, right? You get a sense of what how they communicate and how they talk, right? Like something stuck with me when he said tall and smooth skin. That part I got to break down later.
Yeah, I thought that was
Listen.
me.
I thought of you too. Like, wait, what? And then look what he said from the rivers of Cush. Cush is like that region. I hate the fact that they just moved to Egypt. Like imagine North America is a region, right? Cush was kind of like that whole region given unto the three sons broken down, and then Ham, Cush, Ham, and Japhet. No, Ham, Shem, and Japhet. I'm sorry, right? And Cush was the son of Ham. So that whole region was for Cush, and they said Cush was the darkest of all. That's why they describe Egypt as like the dark rock, right? Because it's just what they used to explain Kush. But I like how they use tall, a nation tall and smooth skin. That's crazy. Okay, I gotta soak that in. Got to, because there's like I said, there's almost like a third dimension of looking at it. There's like reading it on paper, like yeah, the A B C D E. Then there's understanding the people that was involved, right? Then there's the time and place, and then there's another part of it. It's like the spiritual condensation. I mean, the spiritual denotation. You know what I'm saying? That's probably a better word. Pretty much meaning like this really means that, or this means that in the spiritual realm. Spiritual connotation. I had it right the first time. Thank you, Heavenly Father. So like when I'm starting to read it, I'm feeling the spiritual connotation, that information coming in, but like it goes away at the same time when it stops. That makes sense? Like almost like you're remembering a dream. But the
Yeah,
fact you try to
Yeah,
remember it, it stops. That makes sense.
yeah.
deja vu.
So yeah, when I get it when you guys say I gotta soak that in, because I got to soak that.
I mean, I just think it's another like future warning to the messengers of Yahweh.
I get it. I get it. At this point, right? You gotta understand at this point, at this stage in history, like that's like us studying tomorrow. I mean yesterday, right? At this stage, the messengers coming to the mind you, there's still a kingdom. We're still in a place. I'm saying the people of the most high. We're still in place. We're still yeah, there's still upper and lower, right? There's still the upper kingdom and the lower kingdom. There's still the kingdom of uh, Judah, right, in the south, and the kingdom of Israel in the north, or Ephraim, or the kingdom of Joseph. You see what I'm saying? And I get how that happened. Like, man, we gotta do jubilees, guys. I mean, we gotta do Jasper one day. I get how that happened, right? Because what Reuben did as the firstborn, his there was three things. It was the priestly king. It was the priestly right that went to Levi. The actual what's it? The kingship went to Judah, and what was it? I'm looking for. So birthright went to Joseph. That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay. So you kind of see these play out. Like Levi is the baby. The children of Levi is most. They're writing this. They're reminding you because we probably forgot, and then we forgot again. But they here to remind you. Then the children of Judah are here to be administrators. Like, yeah, we're the kings. We're going to do the wars. And then the right of the what is it? There's a term for it. It went to Joseph and it went to Ephraim. I gotta remember that word. But it's something to that, gentlemen. That's what I'm saying. It's something to that. Like so, when we're reading it, those are the things we gotta understand, or we gotta wear those crowns almost. The right to be like, what was it? It was. Remember, guys. Remember what um Jacob took from Esau, right? It was the birthright, the birthright, the birthright. So it's like it's so love. It's weird because it was all Rubens, but then it split. If that makes sense. So it became times three. Your blessings, it's just a dope thing. So like, it's like sometimes I feel like we embody that. Us three, right? It's like, all right, we already know big is like, we already know like the priestly king. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know up. I'm like Judah. You know what I'm saying? And like Pooh got the birthright. But then we could change it. It's weird. We like at one point Pooh could be the administrator. And Big could have the birthright. And I'm the, you know what I'm saying, priestly king. And
See
so
that? Yep.
the most high, man. That's why like I'm stuck on this tangent because I'm attempting to explain Yahshua to a child, right? And I don't want the child to get confused. I don't want to say, "Oh, it's all in one." Yeah, no. Yeah, we all belong to the Most High, right? But we all have our individual name, our set apart names. We're all part of His. Like if we were AIs, if we were blocks in a play box, yes, we'd be housed in one big bin, one big basket, one shelf, one room. But in that room, He builds many a houses, many a mansions. I see how they trying to create this metaverse, right? Like they're making something out of nothing. The Most High already did that. Because remember, He said, "Let there be light." That means He was sitting in darkness for this plane of existence. Because He could have been another. We don't need, like, how do I say this? Like, all right, for example, this is right here. Y'all both got the same grandmother, right? On your mom's side.
Hmm.
It could be accurate. But Val is your mom's shoe and Deanie's your mom. Big. But it's still the same family. You feel me? And like, we don't
Yeah.
know what she came from for real, for real. Nobody had a conversation about that yet. We only know where she's at currently and where she's been in while we see physically seeing her or physically knowing her. And that's no comparison to the Most High. But that's just for our human minds to understand it. Mm. All right, gentlemen, on to the next.
889.
Let's do this. Oh, that's because you got it 25. At least I know 25 by heart.
The
The 250? Me.
message concerning Mizraim. See, Yahweh is riding on a swift cloud, and he shall come into Mizraim, and the idols of Mizraim shall tremble at his presence, and the heart of Mizraim melt in its midst. And I shall stir up Mizrites against Mizrites, and they shall fight, each one against his brother, and each one against his neighbor, city against city, reign against reign. And the spirit of Mizraim shall vanish within them, and I destroy their counsel. And they shall seek the idols, and the mutterers, and the mediums, and the sorcerers. And I shall deliver the Mizrites into the hand of a cruel master, and a fierce sovereign to rule over them, declares the Master Yahweh of hosts. And water shall fail from the sea, and the river wasted and dried up, and the rivers shall stink, and the streams shall be weak and dried up, reeds and rushes shall wither, bare places by the river, by the mouth of the river, and every sown field by the river shall wither. It shall be driven away and be no more. And the fishermen shall lament, and all those who cast hooks into the river shall mourn, and they who spreads nets on the water shall pine away.
And those who work in fine flax, and those who weave fine fabric shall become ashamed, and its foundations shall be crushed. All the wage workers greed in being. The princes of Sion are only fools. The counsel of Pharaoh's wise ones has become senseless. How do you say to Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of ancient sovereigns? Where are they? Where are your wise men? Let them show you, and let them know that Yahweh of hosts has counseled against Mitzrayim. The princes of Saban have become fools. The Prince of the North are deceived. They, the cornerstone of your tribes, have led Mitzrayim astray. Yahweh has mixed a preserved spirit in their midst, and they have led Mitzrayim astray in all their work, as a drunkard strays in his vomit. And there is no work for Mitzrayim by either head or tail, palm branch or bulrush. In that day, Mitzrayim shall become like one and tremble in fear because of the waving of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which he waves over it.
And the land of Yehuda shall be a fear unto Mizraim. Everyone who mentioneth fears for himself, because of the counsel of Yahweh of hosts, which he have counseled against it. And that day 5 cities in the land of Mizraim shall speak the language of Kenah and swear by Yahweh of hosts. One is called the city of destruction. In that day, slaughter of places to Yahweh shall be in the midst of the land of Mizraim, and standing columns to Yahweh at its border. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness to Yahweh of hosts in the land of Mizraim. When they cry to Yahweh because of the oppressors, he sends them a savior and a great one. Oh, wow. And a great one shall deliver them. And Yahweh shall be known to Mizraim, and Mizraim shall know Yahweh in that day, and make slaughter and meal offerings, and shall make a vow to Yahweh and pay it. And Yahweh shall smite Mizraim, smite it and heal it. And they shall turn to Yahweh, and he shall hear them and heal them. In that day they shall be a highway to Mizraim, to Ashur, and Ashur shall come into Mizraim, and Mizraim into Ashur, and Mizraim shall serve Ashur. Oh, in that day Israel become one of 3 with Mizraim and Ashur, and even blessing the midst of the earth, whom Yahweh of hosts shall bless, saying, "Blessed is Mizraim, my people, and Asher, Asher, the works of my hand, and Israel my inheritance." Oh wow, Ashur. Big.
I think it's another warning.
What he did before, he's gonna do again.
Yeah, I think Yahweh was just trying to tell his people what's about to happen, have them pick their sides.
So
Choose your character.
they would call that prophecy, right? Like it's been professed that this is gonna happen. And this is the compassion of the Most High. Is in verse 25, uh, Yeshishaya, or Isaiah, the 19th chapter. Who Yahweh hosts shall bless, saying, "Blessed is Mizraim, my people, and Ashishur, the works of my hand, and Israel, my inheritance." In that day, in 24, verse 20, in that day Israel shall be one of 3 with Mizraim and Ashur, even a blessing in the midst of the earth. Ashishur. Let me see what Ashishur is. True.
I'm soaking it in.
Okay, so Asher was the second son of Shem, the son of Noah. Second, oh my. It was Ashur in the Bible. Oh, he's saying he's gonna bring back. I'm getting it right. That's for sure Shem. Are you saying he's gonna bring back Shem, Japhet, and Ham? Ham took Cush in Egypt. Misraim is Ham's. Israel. Israel was Shem's too. Japheth. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's yeah. I gotta soak that in. I gotta let that. Yeah, I gotta let that marinate. I gotta let that cook. It's like he's talking about people, places, and spiritual things at the same time. Okay. All right. The more you can piece these things together, the more you can understand end time prophecy, and the less I don't know if you ever feel it, but the less scary it becomes. That makes sense. All right, on to the next. Big, since you took all of 18, shoot, do you want to take all of 20?
You got it. In the year that Tardan came to Ashdod, when Sargon, the sovereign of Ashur, sent him, he fought against Ashdod and took it. At that same time, Yahweh spoke by means of Yeshayahu, son of Amoz, saying, Go and remove the sackcloth from your body, and take your sandals off from your feet. And he did so, walking naked and barefoot. And Yahweh said, As my servant Yeshayahu has walked naked and barefoot 3 years for a sign and a wonder against Mitzrayim and Cush, so does the sovereign of Ashur lead away the captives of Mitzrayim, the exiles of Cush, young and old, naked and barefoot. Their buttocks uncovered the shame of Mitzrayim, and they shall be afraid and ashamed of Cush, their expectation and of Mitzrayim, their boast, and the inhabitant of this coastland shall say in that day, See, such is our expectation. Whenever we flee for hope to be delivered from the sovereign of Ashur, how do we escape?
Whoa!
What happened?
What Yahweh did with Yeshayahu was kinda not the same, but the same way he did with Yeshua.
You see
Like
that, right?
he made Yeshayahu do something. So after he did that, the people, like the evil people, would suffer. So like, and what he did with Jesus, he made Jesus do what he had to do, so the good people wouldn't suffer. It's like Yahweh uses his people for the greater good, always.
Always.
Even if it doesn't look like it's good, because who in this time of age would be like, yeah, I'll go outside and walk naked for 3 years, outside, no clothes for 3 years. But he did it. He listened to Yahweh, did it, and a better future came out. Just like
Sometimes for the
Yeshua.
greater good.
Facts.
And it's crazy because it was in my head, Big. I think you stoked something. It's crazy because not only are they being warned, but they're also saying like, look, he'll come back and fix this. But like, oh my God, here it goes, here it goes, here it goes. At this point, I got it. Under when I left it, when the sovereign Dawid was in position, he was the centerpiece of the world. Mr. Even when the transfer of power went from Dawid to Shimmeron. Am I saying that right? Not Shimmeron. Is it?
Solomon.
I'm attempting to say in the Hebrew name. I'm attempting to say Solomon, but yeah, Shimmeron. You're right, Big. So even in that, right, mind you, under that, they ruled the world. Like the world was looking at, even though they had astropos and they were still the head of the what we call. Mom and dad left him in charge of the house, right? And they left things so unwhacked. We have to get you captive. Like, gotta send in a new babysitter, and it's gonna be Sargon, the sovereign Ashur, and that's Assyria. That's Babylon. So that first captivity and into Babylon, this is what they're talking about: walking naked, naked. Even you, Mister M, because you are part of this. You're gonna be bathed clean, and there's no way to escape it because they were coming like Sargon's army was coming like man. Wow, shoot.
I'm so good. Voice crack. Yeah, so no one.
Mm, big.
I already said some.
And I get it. I just want to know if you want to add more because like you just sparked up something. Like it's like I mean, we all been the oldest brother, right? Like it's like us being in charge. We let the guys run amok. Somebody walks in there like, "Ooh, your parents are not gonna like this," and try to warn us. We don't pay attention. We double down and like, look, that person come
Everything
back,
will be alright. They won't mind.
right? So that person come just to get our attention. They come in the house naked. Like, guys, I'm trying to get your attention. Your parents is not gonna like this. There's gonna be beatings. But to lose your kingdom, guys, like that's like getting kicked out of your house. All because we couldn't maintain it. That's like getting kicked out of 10102 because we couldn't maintain it. And even though it was Uncle Marvin's watch, I'm not pointing fingers. It impacted us all. Wow. I draw these little parallels because that's the only way I can get him. But I see him in everything. Hallelujah. Amen.
You just
Mm.
gotta make it a habit to talk to him 24/7.
So
Deep, deep, deep in your heart.
He's always talking.
And he's listening with his stretched
Fact.
out arm.
Fact.
He's communicating. Like, it's to a point when I'm studying, he has to communicate through messengers.
Yeah,
What we
he
call
communicates
angels
through
are
TV
just
too.
messengers. Big. Shoot, I just want you to understand, like, there are beings, like how we reading this and going back in time, there are beings that can actually just do that.
Nah, do you remember when I told you the story about my boss?
Can you reiterate, sir?
When he was like, "Oh yeah, man, God's only gonna choose about like 3,000 people, man, and I don't think I'm one of them."
Keep going, unpacking it. What'd you tell him?
I said, "I think you are one of the chosen people."
Facts. And where'd he get 3,000 from? Where'd he get this number from?
I just made up that number because I don't remember the number he said.
Oh, 144.
Yeah.
144,000. See, this is what I'm telling you. We shouldn't let the we shouldn't let that's why there was the Levites because
Oh
we're
yeah, it was a Dunda.
yeah, but people forget there's also part of that came before the 144, right? There was this when he said, "Look," and this is Revelation. He said, "Look, see, there is people as numerous as sea. I mean, as the sea, like sand in the sea." They couldn't even count the people. The 140. So that's bad. Like, I, I, I don't want people to take themselves out of position, right? Because all you got to do is chill. Like, you don't. All you gotta do is be the kid that don't do anything stupid in the house, right? All you gotta do is be the kid that's not running around and building stuff and throwing food on the floor.
I mean,
That's all you
people
have to
don't
do.
even know. It could be like 144,000 bloodlines
Now
instead
you
of
cooking
just
big.
one chosen person.
Now you cooking big. Because okay, now big, you hit it right on the nose. Right on the nose. They were saying, and then he said, look, there comes in the 100, just like how we're in a parade, right? We're in a parade. Yeah, even though we're not carrying the float, we're still in the parade.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So like, okay, we're at a concert. Even though we're not the actor or the talent on stage, we're still at the concert. So yeah, in the VIP section, it's gonna be the 144. That's what I want to be. Excuse me, right? There's even a VIP on the VIP. There's the 24 elders. Like this, so like, why you just focus on 144? This is 20. Okay, we won't, probably none of us in this era, because none of us had that. None of us carried that cross like Yahshua did yet, right? To be the 12, the one of the 24 elders rocking the crown. And we know that the not the cherubims, but the those four mystery cherubim, those four type angelic beings, with the one of the ox, the one with the lion, the one with the falcon or the eagle, and the one the face of man. We know, and the eyes covering all over them. We know that's a supernatural being. That's not any one of us, right? In the present, we know, we definitely know we're not the Most High. Definitely know that, and we definitely got to give reverence to Yahshua, right? But there is so many other beings there. Like when you
Yeshua is still the goat. I mean, the
exactly
best. He's not a goat. He's still the best.
for us as a sepulcher of man, because even he says, even Yahshua says, the greater will be the least here, meaning like I will serve you.
I am.
Don't tell me.
So either his phone died or he got a call.